Hello, hello. If you can hear me and you can see my screen, please type a little note in the chat and let me know we are good to go with technology. All right. Thank you, Naisha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I like to start on time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the encore presentation of how to become a morning person in 5 simple steps. This is what I like to call the LUXE Learning Lounge. I want to start doing these webinars more often. So thank you for joining on this Tuesday evening. If you guys have questions, you can go ahead and type them in the chat. I will answer all the questions at the end, but if there's anything that catches my eye that I can answer as I'm going through the presentation, I will go ahead and do that. So let's get started. All right. I am Jennifer Dent, your health and success coach. And for those of you who don't know me, I have created the Stop Dieting Forever process, which actually is in the process of being trademarked. Yes, I am fancy because I'm just that serious about what I do, my business, and my clients. So I'm going to show you exactly what the Stop Dieting Forever process is in the next slide, but it's simply a 7-step process to help you get on the road to healthy starting now. This is something that I wrote in an ebook when I first started health coaching back in 2014, and it was like, all right, I'm a very process-oriented person. So I was like, okay, so what? I learned all this information in school. I learned like over 100 different dietary theories, and I learned about hormonal health and all of these different things, gut diets and digestion and everything. So how can I make this super simple for somebody who's like, look, give me a simple plan that I can follow that will help me stop dieting. And so this is what I came up with. And it's called the Stop Dieting Forever process. So very simply, you can start doing this immediately. Like, you can write this down and start doing it as soon as you get off of this webinar. And it's simply following these 7 simple principles. The first one is the big one, is to drink 3 liters of water a day. Getting in, 64 ounces of water. Some people have trouble getting in 16 ounces of water. So it's something you definitely have to work up to and something you definitely have to be consistent with every day. Now, I still track my water consumption just because I like to track things, but drinking 3 liters isn't always a super simple, easy thing to do. And I have my little hacks that I share within in the Stop Dieting Forever group. But first thing is start drinking more water. Second thing is ditching the white stuff. You stop eating sugar, dairy, and refined white flour, you'd be amazed what happens to your body. The third thing is eating when hungry and not as a habit. So most of us tend to eat when it's, a certain time of day. Oh, thank you, Naisha. So for instance, you go to work in the morning and then all of a sudden at 10 o'clock, you're like, oh, it's time for my mid-morning snack. Let me go get something to eat. Or at 12 o'clock, you go and your coworker is like, oh, it's time for lunch. Let's go get something to eat. Whether you're hungry or not, you come home from work and you're like, oh, 6:30. Let me sit down with my family and eat. And those are the times that we eat as a habit. And lots of times we eat as a habit instead of actually eating when we're hungry and listening to our bodies. Now, it is okay to skip a meal every now and then. I am a believer in intermittent fasting, but most of us don't do that. So being intuitive and getting in touch with our bodies is when you eat when you're hungry and not as a habit. The fourth principle, eating organic. I mean, that is as clear as you can get, right? So conventional foods are usually covered with pesticides and additives and preservatives and all this funky stuff in it. I can go on and on and on and on about this, but when you buy foods, your ideal food type you should be buying is organic. Now, there is a hierarchy, I suppose, if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money. And let me tell you, buying organic food is not that expensive anymore. Not like it used to be. So always eat organic. The next one, move more. Very simple. Get your body in gear. I'm not saying you got to go out and train for a marathon. I'm not saying you need to, master Bikram yoga. Just move more. We are very, very sedentary. Most of us sit most of the time. And if you ever Google sitting disease, you will see that that is the reason why you should be moving more. And there are all these different ways that you can include more activity into your day. Very simply, getting a Fitbit or a pedometer or an Apple Watch to track your steps and track your movements. So moving more on a consistent basis. And I need to add, these are things you should be doing every day to get off of the diet wagon. The next thing is practicing self-care. This is huge. I'm like, maybe I should put this at the top because lots of us, especially women, we want to put everyone else first. And the last thing we do is think about ourselves. And self-care doesn't always just mean like, oh, let me go get a manicure and a pedicure and that's self-care, because most of us, when we go sit in the pedicure chair, we're like on our phones, checking email, or, doing something that is not relaxing. Practicing self-care can be as simple as taking a bath at the end of the day, doing a little bit of meditation, quiet time in the morning. We're going to talk a little bit about that. It could be giving yourself some time to read a book. How about that? Read a book? What? Yes, read a book, people. Or just, what else can you do for self-care? Just taking care of yourself, right? Getting up early to take care of yourself. And the last principle is living by the 80-20 rule. So the 80-20 rule, I've talked about this many times, but I'm going to talk about it again so you all will get it. The 80-20 rule is eating 80% clean. 80% of the time you're eating clean. So you're following all of the principles above. And then 20% is what I call your fun meals, right? So that will equate to 2 to 3 meals a week. Now you follow this ratio if you are maintaining your weight. If you are in active weight loss mode, so you are actively trying to lose weight, then you should use the 90-10 rule. 90% of your meals are super clean, healthy, delicious, filling, unprocessed foods. Mostly plant-based, less animal protein. And then your 10% is your fun meal, which will equate to 1 meal a week, maybe 1.5 meals. So like a salad and maybe dessert. So 1.5 meals a week. And that has worked wonderfully for me personally, and it has worked wonderfully for the people who I've taught this to. So this is something you do all the time, not when you're like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight in the next 90 days. Nope, you do this all the time. This is your life. And so most recently, I said that, I created these 7 principles when I first started health coaching back in 2014. But most recently this year, I've added in mindset, which you see here on the left, and then time management on the right. So these 7 principles are wonderful. They're great. They're very conceptually, they make perfect sense. But if you have the wrong mindset when you're trying to do it, it ain't going to work, right? So I always talk about flipping the switch in your mind, flipping the switch in your mindset. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about your mind and how that can set you up for success or set you up for failure. And today we're also going to talk about time management, because if you are already scheduled to the hilt, or your calendar is just out of control and crazy, there's no way that you're going to wake up like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go walk 3 miles today, because you don't have time to do that. You're not going to be able to move more because your schedule is going to control what you do. So you've got to get your schedule under control. And for those of you who are thinking like, okay, I've tried to get my schedule under control. I just got stuff to do. I'm busy. There's no way. Stay with me. Stay with me. I promise you, I'm going to help you. Okay. So that is the Stop Dieting Forever process. Woohoo. All right. So does this sound like you? Every Monday, you wake up and you say, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to fill in the blank with your healthy habit, right? And every week you sleep in and don't achieve your goal. So maybe your healthy habit for the week is, I'm going to go to the gym every day, or I'm going to go to yoga every day, or I'm going to read my book every day. And then every week you end up sleeping in because you can't get up early in the morning, and then you don't achieve your goal. And then some weeks you're so frustrated, you don't even set a freaking goal. And you're just like, whatever. I am tired of trying to lose weight. I'm tired of trying to be healthy. It's too much energy. I can't. Give me the Ben and Jerry's, please. And you really want to eat better. You want to be less stressed. You want to exercise more. You want to meditate and be zen and be one of those people and sleep more. But who the heck has time to do all of that? Because you are busy, right? So I want you to grab a pen and your notebook because you are in the right place. Okay. So tonight you're going to get never presented before. Actually, I presented this on Saturday, but if you weren't listening on Saturday, this is all new to you. This is my new process of how to get your schedule under control. I've never done a webinar about this before Saturday. I teach this to some of my private one-on-one clients. So once you learn how to master your calendar, adding in the time to do the easy stuff is easy. The healthy stuff is easy. And the reason why I decided to focus on time management with my clients is because I noticed that they're all like stressed out because they're so busy. They have all these commitments and all these things to do and like, you know, trying to figure out and go grocery shopping and meal prep. Like who has time to do that? And I have all this other stuff to do. So it's like, let's take a look at your schedule and see what is actually a priority. And once you can clear your schedule off, it's a lot easier to focus on being healthy. Okay, so this is me before, formerly known as overwhelmed, right? I was always on the go. I was one of those people who was always busy. They used to call me the social butterfly. I used to throw events. So I had like my regular job, and then I used to throw events. I used to do happy hours. I mean, we used to party. Thursday night started happy hour. We used to go out Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday brunch. And then Sunday we used to go to the reggae club. So we were always out doing stuff. And then as I got older, I had to ask myself, is it possible to be addicted to being busy? I want you to ask yourself that question because I think there is, right? I think there is an ability to be addicted to being busy. If you're always busy, if you're always like, girl, I'm so busy, I got so much stuff to do. And what I realized about myself is that I actually felt uncomfortable with sitting by myself and doing nothing. And so in order for me to avoid that uncomfortable feeling, I just made myself really busy. I had a gazillion different friends. So like if the close group couldn't hang out with me, then I was like, oh, I'm gonna call these other people and see if they want to go out. I was always dating. I was always had some stuff. Oh, and I was involved in church. I mean, yes, there was a lot of partying and all that stuff, but yeah, I was in ministries, choir rehearsal. I used to teach classes. So there's a lot going on. So for me, being busy was just an escape from my own reality. And then you wonder why I was so frustrated with my life. If anybody resonates with this, just type yes in the chat for me so I know that you're with me. Okay. So I always hated feeling unproductive. I always hated being unable to achieve my goals. And at that point in my life when I was overwhelmed, my goals were basically to lose weight, find a man, and make more money. Not necessarily in that order, but yes, those are like my three big things. And so I knew there had to be a better way. And what I realized is that the time management piece of this puzzle was something that I struggle with. And so do many of my clients. So I had to figure it out. But now, since I figured it out, my struggle is now your solution, okay? My weight was a reflection of how I was living my life, not just about what I was eating. So for those of you who don't know my backstory, I will tell this very quickly. I became certified as an integrative nutrition coach in 2014 after I worked with a certified health coach myself. I had no idea what a health coach was. But I knew one thing. I was tired of being on this ridiculous diet roller coaster, could not lose any weight to save my life, had no idea what the problem was. I was like, tried every diet, every supplement. I had personal trainers. I, did NutriFast, our Nutrisystem. I did Fen. I did Weight Watchers multiple times, LA weight loss, the cabbage soup diet, you name it, I did it, right? And there's a ton that I'm not even throwing out there. Oh, Isogenics was another one. Herbalife was another one. I did it all and still struggled with my weight. So when I started working with a holistic health coach, I started to realize that there's this whole component to losing weight, which had nothing to do with what I was eating. It was about how I was living my life and what was keeping me under stress. So I took this group course. I paid $1,400 for this 6-week group course with this coach. Couldn't believe how much it cost. But I was like hooked. This little bit of information she gave us, I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, I need to know what she knows. So I enrolled in her school that she went to, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And it was like, if I can figure out this weight loss thing, then I am going to turn around and help other women do the same. So I graduated in 2014, which was awesome because I learned, again, all the dietary theories. I learned about holistic health. I learned about how your life, how you're living your life affects your health and how you can make certain changes in your life that will allow you to be more healthy. But there was also that mindset thing that was missing. So I got certified as a Divine Living certified transformational coach last year, in which I help women. It has its basis in psychotherapy, but it helps women make that deeper connection to their actions, what they're doing, their history, to help them make those connections and resolve those issues so they can move forward in their lives. Okay. And I started my company because I am an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur, but I started my company LUXE Life Coaching last year in 2016. So this is my passion. This is my life. I am dedicated to helping women get ahead and getting off of the diet roller coaster. Because when you stop focusing on food so much, guess what? You have a wonderful life to live, right? All right. So my company's mission, LUXE Life Coaching. At LUXE Life Coaching, we have a mission to transform the lives of women through wellness education and success coaching so they can live a purposeful, more fulfilled life. And to do this, we offer coaching packages, we offer programs and products that empower and educate while offering superior client service, support, and value. So right now, my company is small. It's just me and Colette, and I have a graphic designer, but we are small and mighty, and I have visions to grow bigger and bigger. But I am dedicated to transforming the lives of women with LUXE Life Coaching. And you will hear me use the term Lux all the time, because I have a thing about living the Lux life. The Lux life is a phrase that I coined to encapsulate what the life of a holistically healthy woman looks like. Now tell me if this is the woman that you want to be, right? So this woman feeds her body foods that are energizing and not draining. This woman enjoys working out because it makes her feel good and not because she's trying to burn off last night's happy hour. This woman who's living the Lux life, she takes time in the morning to mentally prepare before the hustle and the bustle of the day begins. So that means she likes to get up early in the morning. And by the end of this webinar, you're going to like to get up early in the morning. Okay. The woman living the Lux life, she confidently says no, no, no to the things that don't support her. She takes time out for regular self-care. She values time spent with her girlfriends. Yes, because girlfriend time is important and makes it a priority. She enjoys the work that she does. She manages her schedule, so she manages to get enough rest every night. 5 hours is not enough rest, okay? 5 hours of sleep, nope. This woman regularly invests in herself by purchasing products and services that up-level her quality of life, right? I am all about up-leveling quality of life, and I want to teach you how to do the same. How would you like to live the Lux life, right? So tonight you're on your way. Tonight you're going to learn how to organize your calendar so that you can get done what needs to be done. You're going to learn how to eliminate unproductive tasks so that you can make time for more of your healthy activities. You're going to learn how to free your mind and your time so you're keeping your stress under control. You are going to learn how to schedule your day so you can wake up early with a smile on your face. And you're going to learn how to start living the Luxe life by managing your time properly. Remember, I'm going to ask you or you guys can have a chance to ask me questions at the end. So I have a question for you right now. Are you really ready to manage your time? I mean, are you like really, really ready? So if you're the type who doesn't like to take action, then guess what? This information is not for you, because this is not a quick fix. This is not a snap your fingers and all of a sudden, voila, you're perfect. No, it's going to take work. If you're the type who can't sit still and has to be busy all of the time, this information is not for you, because guess what? You're going to have to sit still and not be busy all the time. If you're looking for a quick fix and you're not willing to put in the time and the effort it takes to change your patterns, then this information is not for you. And guess what? That is okay, because I know this information isn't for everyone, right? I know that's okay. But if you are ready to live the Luxe life, if you're the type of woman who is constantly pushing herself to grow better and become better, if you can see yourself living a better life 30 days from now, you're in the right place. If you're the type of woman who wants to set a good, healthy example for her children, her family, and her friends, you are in the right place. If you are the type of woman who has it all together, then you are in the right place. Grab your pen, grab your notebook, and listen in. I don't want you to be a negative Nelly. Some of you may be listening to this and you're like, yeah, okay, that's easy for her. But no. I am not special. I am not extraordinary. I have done a lot of work on myself. And you don't need a special degree. You don't need to be a certified holistic health coach or a certified transformational coach. You don't need a special level of intelligence to improve your life. But you do need more than a magic wand, right? So if you're thinking you're going to click your heels 3 times and everything's going to be hunky-dory, no, you need the right mindset. So if you're a negative Nelly, guess what? You've got to flip that switch in your mind. And that's when change comes. Okay, the planner problem. Yes. Have you ever tried to use a planner to organize your life, right? So every year or every 6 months, you go buy a new planner and you do great for a couple of weeks. You get your colored pencils, you get your wasabi tape, you get your little stickers, and you start using your planner and you're all excited and you write everything down. But then in a few weeks, the planner gets stuck under a pile of papers and then you don't really use it anymore. So then you're like, all right, that planner didn't work. Let me go try another planner. And you like go on Facebook and you ask people, what's your favorite planner? What planner do you like to use? And so everybody has their opinion. And you're like, oh, let me go check this planner out. And you spend hours researching what planner you're going to buy that is going to change your life. And then sometimes you think, well, maybe if I spend more money and buy a more expensive planner, that is going to work, right? I know how you feel because I had an addiction to planners as well. But guess what? The planner is not the problem. The problem is you. And like I said, I had a planner addiction. My struggle was real. So even though I tried my hardest to get my calendar organized, I was constantly late for appointments and meetings. And let me tell you, getting out of bed every morning was a struggle. I had all this stuff to do in my calendar, in my planner, which means I had to get up really early to get it done. But girl, I cannot get my butt out of bed in the morning. And the first thing that I always needed to do was like go to the gym. So it's very easy to sleep in and skip going to the gym on a regular basis. And that was a struggle. And then eating whatever I could get my hands on was the norm, because who had time to like sit down and meal prep? Who had time to sit down and like find healthy recipes and go grocery shopping? Like that takes time. Who has time to do all that? Like I had a serious job. I had to travel. I was a management consultant for 9 years, and I basically lived out of a suitcase and in hotels for 9 years. I literally traveled Monday morning to a client site in a different state. We worked, 10, 11 hours a day. We would go back to the hotel, have a dinner, late dinner, eat every meal out, go to bed on a very full stomach, and get up and do the same thing. Thursday afternoon, fly home, get home at like 11 p.m., and just do that whole thing over and over again. It was a crazy, crazy lifestyle. It was fun for a while, but it was like terrible for my waistline because every meal essentially I ate out. And when I came home on the weekends, it's like, well, why bother going grocery shopping? Because I'm going to be gone on Monday. So it was a continuation of eating out. So my struggle was real. Okay. No joke. So I just finally resigned myself to thinking, all right, well, I'm just not that super organized type A kind of girl. I'm just not it. I can't do it. So I'm just always going to be a little late. I'm always just going to be a little less productive than the next person. I'm always going to be a little chubby because I can't get the weight off. I'm always going to be a little bit broke because I don't know how to manage my money, and I'm always going to be overwhelmed, right? That was just me. That was a lot in life. This is how God created me, and I was okay with that. I just was like, I'm just, always behind the 8 ball. I'm surviving, like I'm good, but I'm not great. But interestingly enough, not everything was a struggle. So asking me, like, could you meet your girlfriends for happy hour on time? Not a problem. I was the first person in the bar seat waiting for my friends. This is funny because I was just talking to one of my girlfriends about this. Every Sunday at 9 p.m., I was in place to watch Sex and the City on HBO. 2 of my girlfriends, we all used to come to my house, and 9 o'clock we used to watch Sex and the City every Sunday. And we were never late, never missed the episode, right? So I was able to finish reading fascinating books in a week because I really like to read. Not a problem. But eventually I realized that this behavior, right, was a clue to my success. So I wasn't terrible in everything, but I still did some things right. So maybe I wasn't as bad off as I thought I was. Wonder what that is. So the clue was revealed. So remember that I could be timely and productive in some scenarios, regardless of what planner I was using or not using. So I started thinking, like, if I could be successful in some of areas of my life, why can I be successful in all areas of my life? Interesting. I realized after I read this wonderful book, I limited my growth potential with my fixed mindset. Okay. So I'm going to circle this fixed mindset, FIXED, fixed mindset. And we're going to talk about this for a little bit. So this book that I read is called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Dr. Carol Dweck. And because the fixed mindset had me believing because I didn't think I could get better at organizing my life, I didn't. I just stayed where I was. Hold on, guys. I have somebody's texting me. They're waiting, trying to get in the webinar. Okay, so hopefully they can get in. Or they got to catch the replay. Okay, so I got a couple people online. All right, so here we go. The fixed mindset. The view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. And that is in the book by Carol Dweck. All right. So I'm going to repeat that again. Let it sink in. The view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. I'm going to press pause here. For those of you who can hear me, can you just type in the chat and say that you can hear me, you're online, and you can see the screen because I see the person who's texting me. I see their name in here as a participant, but she's texting me saying she can't see. So we're kind of suck to have all these folks online. Okay, Naisha says, I can hear you. I can see you. Thank you. Monique, can you hear me? Can you see me? Chandra, can you hear me? Can you see me? Jody, can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. So I'm not sure what's going on with Webinar Ninja right now, but I'm going to continue since this is recording, and hopefully you guys will be listening to the recording, and I apologize for any issues with the webinar. Okay, so where are we? The fixed mindset. Oh, because I didn't think I could get better at organizing my life. I didn't, because I had a fixed mindset. And Carol says the view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way that you lead your life, right? So how you're thinking about yourself affects the way you lead your life. And so your mindset determines whether you become the person you want to be and whether you accomplish the things that really are important to you. And initially with my fixed mindset, I didn't think that I could change. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to resign myself and be, the average chick. So ask yourself, what do you believe? Okay. What do you believe? People with a fixed mindset believe these things. Failure is the limit of my abilities. So they either think I'm good at it or I'm not. So if you've ever tried something and you're like, I suck at it, and you're like, forget it, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I was just laughing because recently I did painting with a twist with my girlfriends, and I'm not very artistic, and I slipped into the fixed mindset. I was trying to follow what the little teacher was telling us to do with the painting. And I was like, mine doesn't look like hers. And so I was like ready to put my paintbrush down and be like, all right, I'm done. Like, just, pass the wine. Nope. I got out of my fixed mindset. I realized what it was. I recognized what it was. And I started over again. I moved to the growth mindset. But a fixed mindset also says, I don't like to be challenged, or my potential is predetermined. So I can't go beyond what I'm born with. When I'm frustrated, I give up. And the fixed mindset person says, you know what? I'm just going to stick to what I know. Okay. So people with a growth mindset believe that, hold on. People with a growth mindset believe that failure is an opportunity to grow. And they say, I can learn to do anything I want. And challenges help me to grow, right? And the person with the growth mindset is not a negative Nelly. They say, I am inspired by the success of others. They're not a hater, and they like to try new things. So what do you believe about yourself? Are you in the fixed mindset category? Or are you in the growth mindset category? If you can hear me, I want you to type in the chat whether you're a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And I do understand, in some areas of your life, you may be growth. In the other areas of your life, you're totally fixed. And that is okay. We're going to learn how to recognize it. Awesome. I see a growth mindset in there. Very good. So, are you not successful with your schedule because of what you innately believe? I learned to flip the switch, right? I talked about that a little bit earlier. I learned to flip the mindset switch. So I moved from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And then, voila, making improvements became so much easier. All of a sudden, I believe that failure is an opportunity to grow. So I'm not doing well with my scheduling. Guess what? I can grow. I can learn something different. I can keep trying something different till I figure out the best thing that works. As a growth mindset, I was saying that I can now learn to do anything I want. So I actually learned this scheduling process that I'm about to teach you when I was going through my Divine Living Transformational Coaching Certification program last year. Right? So I invested money to have a coach go through this course. It was a 12-month course to teach me a lot of things. But the first thing they taught us is like how to manage your schedule, because you're going to have a lot of work to do this year. So if you can't get your schedule under control, you're not going to get your certification. So I implemented what I learned, and lo and behold, I got my certification by the end of the year. Challenges help me grow. That's what I think now. I am inspired by the success of others. So I'm actually, well, I'm not going to say that yet, but I like to highlight my clients who have done really, really well, so they can inspire others. And I now like to try new things because I've got a growth mindset. So as a result of moving from fixed to growth, I mastered a very simple time management process for my personal and business lives. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to hear what it is? Okay. Step 1, determine your current mindset. Do you have a fixed mindset? Then you absolutely need to keep listening, right? Growth mindset, high five to you, sister. You should be good to go. But I want you to stick around because maybe you can learn something new. And maybe this is something that you can share with somebody else. All right. Step number 2, if you have your pen and your paper out, you've got to get real with yourself. Okay. So what are your bad habits when it comes to time management? Is it that you can't say no when somebody asks you to attend something, volunteer, or do something? I talked to one woman who was like stuck in the ministry merry-go-round. She just could not get out. And if any of you are, churchgoers, or even if, and you're in the volunteer world, there's always some place that needs help. There's always some place to volunteer. And once you're known as like a quote unquote good worker and you're responsible and you have a good attitude, they want you to do everything. Can you do this? Can you serve here? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? So she had trouble like saying no because she didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I was a total people pleaser. I am a reformed people pleaser, but that was one of my problems. I could always, yes, of course I'll help you. Yes, I'm available. Yes. Okay. Another bad habit. Do you always underestimate travel time, which makes you late? So this was a big thing for me with travel time. Eric Thomas always says, if you arrive on time at your destination on time, then you are late. If you arrive 15 minutes early, then you are on time, right? And if you arrive a half an hour early, then you're early. So if your appointment is at 12 o'clock and you get there at 12 o'clock, then you're late. But if you get there at 11:45, you're right on time. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you just drove past the address and you still got to go find a parking space. No, you need to be in the building 15 minutes early and ready to go wherever you need to go. So my problem was, getting out the house. It was always like, oh, let me run, get a sweater. Oh, let me go fill up my water bottle. Oh, let me do this. Oh, let me go grab a snack in case I get hungry. And then you sit in your car and it's like fiddling with, you're like, oh, let me see what podcast I'm going to, listen to now. Let me set that up and let me, check my email real quick or respond to this text message before I go. And before you know it, it's like 10 minutes has passed and you should be in the car driving and you're still sitting in the driveway, right? This is my life right now. So what I learned to do is give myself a huge buffer. And I'm going to show you exactly what my calendar looks like in a little bit, of travel time, of how I get to places on time. Because when I learned, I forgot where I heard this, but when you keep other people waiting, that is you being selfish. I did not like being selfish. I'm a people pleaser. I don't like keeping people waiting. I like to be on time and I like other people to respect my time. So who am I to show up late and keep somebody else waiting? Okay. Another bad habit, keeping your calendar in your head. So you have, 12 things you need to do, and they're rolling around in your head all day because you've not written them down in one place, or you haven't written them down at all. All right. So that's a bad habit. You got to write this stuff down so you're like, don't forget your appointments. Or another bad habit is you wake up in the morning wondering, and you got to think like, oh, what should I do next? I don't know about you, but in the morning, my mind is not functioning properly, right? It takes like a little bit of time to warm up. So I have to plan my mornings out the night before, so I know when I wake up in the morning exactly what I need to do. And I'm not talking about like getting in the shower and getting dressed, although yes, I do have block time out for that, depending on where I need to go. But, it's very easy for me to get distracted in the morning. You wake up and you're like, oh, let me throw this laundry in the wash real quick. Or let me, wash the dishes real quick from last night. Nope. I have a schedule of what I'm supposed to do when I wake up in the morning. So ask yourself, why do you feel the need to be busy all the time? So the way you uncover these questions about yourself is by journaling. And I want you to write these questions down. Okay, these are your reflection questions. If time were a person, how would you describe your relationship with time? Are you always rushing around? If so, what are you always rushing around to do, and how does that really make you feel on the inside? Do you find that you're consistently late to appointments, and how does that make you feel? It should make you feel terrible. All right. Being constantly late is not a thing. It's not good. And it is not a label you want to have, because, we all have that one girlfriend who's like always late, and you always roll your eyes like, oh, girl, she's going to be late. That's so annoying. Do you get sidetracked from your tasks only to find out that the entire day has passed and you've gotten nothing accomplished that you set out to do? So be specific and give examples when you're writing down these reflection questions. You don't have to answer these questions right now, but I want you to at least write the questions down so you can go back later and answer them. Okay, describe your relationship you hope to develop with time. Okay, so these are your reflection questions. Write them down. And get into your brain to figure out why are you doing the things that you're doing. Okay. All right. So step number 3, this is a big one. I want you to track your time for 7 days. So every second of every day should be accounted for. Okay. Every second of every day should be accounted for. Now, when I first did this activity myself, I just had a piece of paper, like a paper log, and I would just write down what I did at what time. But then, I got hip to the game, and so I started using a tracker, and I have my clients use a tracker, which is an app. So you can go online, you can download it for free. You can create these categories, and I want you to literally log every second of every day. So if you're spending 25 minutes and 32 seconds getting dressed, then that should be logged. If you're spending, 3 hours on social media, which I hope not, you should log that unless that's your business. If you're spending, 90 minutes commuting, then you should log that. If you're doing 2 things at once, so say you have work on there from 9 to 5, but then you go for lunch for an hour from 12 to 1, then you'll have, eating 12 to 1. Be super specific. It's only for 7 days. You don't have to do this forever, but it's really going to give you a comprehensive time log. And for those of you who've ever started to do a budget and manage your expenses, this is the first thing the financial planners tell you to do. They don't tell you to log your time, but they tell you to log your expenses. So where are you spending your money? And then what do? Right? You look at your expenses, your list of expenses, and then you cut out the things that are unnecessary. So spending $12 at Starbucks a week is probably unnecessary. So you cut that out. Spending, $45 every week to get a pedicure is unnecessary. So you cut that out. So that's the same process you're going to do with your time, right? You're going to have a comprehensive time log, and then you're going to move to step 4. The reason why I like a tracker is actually because once you have a nice chunk of time tracked, you can print it out and you can send it to me, send it to your coach, and I can help you review it. So step 4, okay, quick review. So now that you have a growth mindset, you have a better understanding of your relationship with time because you've answered those reflection questions, and you have this comprehensive layout of your day-to-day schedule. It is time to delegate and eliminate. This is like my favorite step, right? So first, you're going to eliminate any obvious time suckers. So again, 3 hours on social media. If that's not your job, you're wasting your time. So you can begin to eliminate that step or cut back on it. I actually have a friend who is now doing a social media fast. She actually does them periodically because she realizes that, you know, once you get sucked in, you can spend a lot of time on social media, and that is time that's being taken away from her business. So you eliminate any obvious time suckers, and then you delegate tasks, some tasks to someone else. So you ask yourself, who else can do this? So I put in this example, driving to work, okay? If you're driving to work and it's taking you 90 minutes to drive to work, have you considered taking public transportation, right? So you don't have to worry about driving and using that time to read, to meditate, to, you know, do something different, listen to an audiobook, to journal, to write, to work, instead of sitting in the car commuting to work. My business coach tells a story of when she was living in Dallas, she opted not to commute to work. Instead, she opted to take the bus. And even though the bus was a little bit longer, it allowed her time to work on her business while she was still working her full-time job. There's another story that comes to mind of someone who practices TM. I'm a practicer of TM meditation. And this guy, you meditate twice a day. This guy would get on the train and he would do his afternoon meditation for 20 minutes on the train, just close his eyes and that was his time, right? So he used that time effectively. So who can do this, right, is a question you ask yourself when you're looking at these tasks. Another example is that you're spending too much time in the kitchen, right? If you're spending all of these hours in the kitchen, you're cooking, then maybe it's time to up level and hire a personal chef. Yes, girl. Yes. That is on my bucket list. Hire a personal chef to cook healthy foods for you. Okay, so maybe you're not at that level. Your budget will not allow you to hire a personal chef. Then maybe you want to find something like Snap Kitchen, right? So Snap Kitchen is popular in Philadelphia, Chicago, Houston, I think Dallas too, where you can buy pre-prepared healthy meals every week, freshly prepared, very healthy, delicious, all portioned out, nutrition label on it. Go get some for the week, put them in the fridge, and boom, you're done. Like, that is the ultimate convenience. Or you can do something like Blue Apron or all the gazillions of different Hello Chef, the meal subscription boxes to save time. So just get creative, right? So get creative. After you eliminate those obvious time suckers, ask yourself, who can do this? Who else can do this? So step 5, this is, looking at my calendar, right? So you take what's left, those tasks that are left on your sheet, and you schedule time blocks in your calendar. I'm a fan of Google Calendar. I believe it's free. It's easy to use. This is what I tell my clients. You need to get down with the Google Calendar because it's super easy to use. And then you can just move and adjust things around as necessary. So you can get fancy like I have and color code your tasks. And then you can use the Pomodoro technique for big blocks of focus time. So if you see here, my yellow tasks are my business tasks. And, sometimes it's hard to sit for 6 hours and work on something straight. So I use the Pomodoro technique. If you're not familiar with that, I suggest you Google it. There is an app for that. There is a Google Chrome extension for that. But the Pomodoro technique is Very simple. It's taking a big chunk of time or a big task and breaking it down into 20-minute chunks. So anybody can stay focused for 20 to 25 minutes, right? So you set your timer, you close all your tabs, turn your phone on airplane mode, whatever you need to do, and you focus on something for 20 or 25 minutes. Then you give yourself a 5-minute break. So 25 minutes, your alarm goes off, you stand up, you stretch, you do whatever. And then the second Pomodoro is at the second block of time that begins, and you focus on something for 20 minutes. And before you know it, you can get stuff done, like 2 Pomodoros or 4 Pomodoros. It's great. I love it. So now you have some free time, and you've time blocked your tasks. And if you look at my calendar here, this is from last week. You see that like I said, I need to tell myself what to do in the morning. 6:30 to 7:30, I wake up, I meditate, I pray, I read. So that takes about an hour. And here on Friday, I'm like, okay, I got to get dressed. So I give myself a half an hour to get dressed because I had an appointment later on that day that I needed to, be dressed for. What else is on here that I want to share? Oh, travel time. So if you notice here on Friday, my hair appointment was at 10 a.m. I give myself an hour to get there. I usually give myself an hour or 45 minutes to get there. And that's a little buffer, right? So I have time to piddle and get myself out the door. Then I have time to drive where I need to drive to and then find a parking space. So I always give myself travel time. You can see here on Thursday, right? I gave myself 45 minutes to get dressed. I gave myself another 45 minutes to get out the door to travel to my appointment to get my lashes done at 2:30. So that's how I schedule my day. And all of my little alerts come up in my calendar. It comes up on my phone. And that is how I organize. So the red here, the color-coded red are my personal development, my healthy activities, right? So I always have time I always have time to get my stuff done. So if you notice here on Thursday, she was like, watch Power season finale. Yeah, so I haven't watched the Power season finale yet. I scheduled time in there to watch it. That is my self-care. For an hour on Thursday. So that is how I schedule my calendar. All right. So you're wondering, how can I learn this so I can grow? And what is the fastest way to implement what I just showed you? The fastest way to get started is this 4-week program that I just created just for you. It's called Scheduling Success. And it's a time management system for weight loss. So I'm actually going to go back to my calendar before I jump into that. So the reason why I call this a time management system for weight loss is because once you organize your schedule, you've gotten rid of the stuff that is a time sucker. You've delegated some stuff. You should have some open pockets of time on your calendar, right? So you schedule in an hour to do your workout. And if you go to a gym, you schedule in your travel time to the gym. And you're looking at your calendar and you're like, wow, I've got all this free time. Or I don't have enough time. Let me figure something else out. So maybe I need to wake up earlier. If that's the case, then you move your time schedule up and you learn to wake up earlier. So you can get all this stuff done. On the weekends, you can't see this here, but on Sunday, I will have meal prep time, grocery shopping time, cooking time. I have all this stuff is in my calendar because if I don't have it time blocked, then I don't have time to do it, right? So if it's not in my calendar, I'm not going to have time to do it. And so it's either not going to get done or it's going to get done really crappy, right? So that's why I want to teach you this step-by-step process, which I call scheduling success. Okay, so what's in this 4-week program? And is it right for you? I'm going to show you exactly what's in the 4-week program. If it's right for you, I want you to sign up, right? Just listen to your gut, make a decision, and sign up. If it's not right for you, guess what? I don't want you to sign up. It's okay. You're not ready. But when you are ready, you know where to come. So what is next? We're here. You've listened to me talk for almost an hour. You've heard my story, and you know that scheduling success works. The process works, and you're someone who appreciates learning from an expert. So now you're wondering, what is the fastest way I can integrate scheduling success into my life? And that's why you are really, really smart. You're a smart cookie to go ahead and make that decision to master this skill. And here's how. A time management system for weight loss. If your schedule is keeping you from reaching your health goals, this is a no-brainer. And even if it's not your health goals, and maybe you are finding time to get your workouts in and you are finding time to meal prep, and it's the other stuff you're struggling with, I can help you with that. This is still a no-brainer. We can go over whatever this is personalized for you. So I've created this program for you where I literally break down this complete system that I walked you through and walk you through step by step how important it is to implement this process into your life, okay? So you've been warned. This may not be for everyone. And if you're stuck with a fixed mindset and you're not ready to do the work, then you can't appreciate scheduling success. You're sitting there thinking like, oh, I can't do this. This is for the other person. This is not for me. Or you could be thinking like, oh, girl, she gave me a lot of information. That's good. I'm going to figure it out by myself. Perfect. But ask yourself, how long is it going to take you to master the process? And how much time do you want to spend stuck at this place in your life? Are you not ready to move ahead and live the luxe life, right? And be that woman. So here's what you can expect. This program is designed to help you transform your limited thinking that has you trapped in a cycle of daily overwhelm, all within 4 weeks. Okay, this is not going to take you a year. It's not going to take you 6 months. 4 weeks. 1 month. Scheduling success, a time management system for weight loss. Okay, so what do you get? You get 4 one-on-one weekly sessions with me for 60 minutes. So the first week is get your mind right. We're going to explore your innate mindset as it relates to personal growth. Fixed mindset, growth mindset. Are you fixed in some areas and growth in the other area? Could you be more growth, for lack of a better term? So we're going to identify any obstacles and implement any necessary mindset shifting strategies. Okay, so that's the first week. And then you'll have homework you're going to have to implement during that week. The second week, we're going to redefine your relationship with time. So in this session, we're going to deep dive into your relationship with time. A little bit of those reflection questions I asked you, right? Are you constantly without enough of it? Are you constantly running around? Are you constantly busy and late to appointments? We're going to do that transformational stuff and uncover the cause of the constant overwhelm. Why are you constantly busy? Why do you constantly feel that you don't have enough time? We all have the same 24 hours. Me, you, Beyonce, and Oprah. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Okay, so week 3. We're going to delegate and eliminate. I'm going to help you. We're going to look at you're going to have tracked your time. We're going to look at your report, and we're going to talk about what can go and how you can delegate some of those tasks. Now, when I did this, I struggled. I really, really struggled because some things I was like, I got to do this. Like nobody else can do this better than me. Like nobody else can do this. That whole delegation thing, that is difficult. Okay, so we're going to talk about delegating and eliminating, and I'm going to walk you through that process. So week 4 is controlling your calendar. So that's when we get into the nitty-gritty tactical stuff. You're going to share your screen with me. We're going to go into your Gmail calendar. We're going to create these time blocks for your stuff. And we're not going to be looking at my stuff. We're going to look at your stuff, and we're going to prioritize what goes first, where you can gain more time, how you can move stuff around, and how you can basically regain control of your life. So you get 1 bonus session, right? So you have all this information for 4 weeks. We all know that it takes a little bit of time to get used to a new process. So I'm giving you another week. So the week 5 is your bonus session. So we're just going to talk about scheduling success. By this time, you will have, put into practice what we learned. We'll have an open discussion about any obstacles that you've encountered. We'll talk about, what you've done that works, what didn't work. We'll figure out a workaround. We'll tackle any issues that may come up and keep you on a path to scheduling success. Woohoo! I love bonuses. Okay, so this is the exact system I use daily, every day, every week. This is the exact system I've taught to some of my private clients who have been struggling with their schedules. And if you'd like me to help you implement these steps, I am delighted to assist you. Okay, I want to help you speed up your success. I am a success coach, but it took me years to uncover my fixed mindset and how it negatively impacted everything that I tried to achieve success. And I don't want the same for you. There is a better way. Do not struggle, okay? Had I known it was this simple years ago, I probably would have paid $10,000 or more to learn how to fix my mind years ago. And actually, I probably have paid $10,000 since then, with working with coaches, reading books, taking seminars, buying all those planners. I dropped a mint. I dropped a little bit of money trying to figure out how can I live the best life. But of course, I am not going to charge you $10,000 for 4 weeks plus a bonus week, even though you'll potentially save dozens of hours of time during a 4-week period. Now, I want you to ask yourself, time equals money. So how much is your time worth to you, right? Is it worth your time to take your clothes to the laundromat every week and sit there where you could be doing something else to, make your life better, to be making more money so you can buy a washer and dryer? How much is your time worth to you, right? Is your time worth $5,000? Is it worth $2,000? How much is your time? Every time I think about hiring someone or doing it myself, that's what I ask myself. How much is my time worth to me, right? Yeah, I could totally paint my office, right? If I wanted to. Painting is not that difficult, but how much is my time worth? My time is worth much more. I'd rather pay somebody to come in and paint than me spending the time it takes to tape everything up and go to the store and buy the paint. And, that could take days, whereas I can hire somebody and it's done in one day, right? How much is your time worth? So let's level set here. Let's vision set in just a few weeks, right? Imagine learning what is causing you to be constantly overscheduled, right? And it's not your boss's fault. That's your fault. So that you can stay clear of time-sucking activities. How can you ensure your daily and weekly to-dos get done so you have time to do more important things like work out, practice self-care, and cook healthy meals, right? Imagine learning how to learn to love your schedule instead of looking at it as a source of overwhelm and stress and just ignoring it. So that person I talked about before who has all of their calendar items in their head instead of on paper, they're just ignoring their schedule. So imagine learning how to make any day a successful day, even when you fall off track, oversleep, or legitimately don't have enough time. So we didn't talk about that in the 5-step process, but if there are times you're going to look at your schedule and you're like, oh man, how am I going to get this done? Or I have to wake up at the crack of dawn to be able to get all this information in. So with the one-on-one coaching, we will get to how do you get up early in the morning, right? How do you manage your schedule when you have a whole bunch of stuff to do in one day? Imagine learning proven tips on how to control your calendar. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. So you can regain control and freedom over your life. Imagine learning how to clearly identify what activities are wasting your time so you can banish those time wasters from your life forever. And remember, the delegation part is difficult. So I will hold your hand and walk you through that process. It will not be painful, trust me. Okay. So imagine also learning simple strategies to help you free up more time. And you're going to be wondering, why didn't I do this before? Like I mentioned before, I just learned this process last year, and I've been using it consistently since last year. Why didn't I learn this before? I paid a whole lot of money to learn this process, right? So again, I want you to think about how much is your time worth to you? I want you to sign up for scheduling success at jenniferdent.com/success if this is right for you. If you're sitting there thinking like, oh yeah, I definitely need this in my life, I want you to sign up now. jenniferdent.com/success. If you're like, nah, I got this, growth mindset, I can do it on my own, more power to you. I hope you learned something new. But I want you to sign up for scheduling success with the 4-week program plus the bonus week for just $497. That's it. One simple payment, $497. Because time equals money. And next month, this price is going to increase to $597. So if you schedule now, the price will increase October 10th, I believe. Yes. $597. So you can sign up now and save $100. jenniferdent.com/success. For one payment, $497. How much is your time worth to you? Like I said, I paid a lot of money to learn this, and I'm giving it to you for $497. So what happens after you sign up? When you order, you will get an immediate email from me that will give you a scheduling link to schedule your first session. So remember, there are 5 sessions for 1 hour. So I want you to pick a day and a time that works for you every week for the next, that should be 5 weeks. And so we'll use that as our main meeting day. Now, of course, the schedule can be modified. If there are issues, scheduling issues, you'll get information about how to reschedule later. But just pick a day that primarily works for you, and then we'll schedule and we'll meet the same week, same time, same day, every week. If you're thinking, okay, I want to sign up now, but I'm not going to be ready to do this until January, like fresh start, fresh planner, that whole thing, perfect, because you want to take advantage of the cheaper price now, you can go ahead and do that. And then you can, when you get your scheduling link, you just schedule for your time in January. Not a problem. But do know if you want to wait until after October 10th, then the price is going to go up to $597. So most people will stay on to the end of this webinar. Thank you for the training, Jennifer, and will not buy. They'll think, oh, you know what, I'm just too busy, or I'm going to do this later. But here's going to happen to those people who don't purchase, right? They will be stuck in overwhelm. They will always be trying to add in time to be healthy, because you know how I feel about the T word. Oh, I'm going to try to get to the gym today. Oh, I'm going to try to cook some dinner today, right? The results will be inconsistent. It will continue to be inconsistent because they'll have one really good week and then they're going to fall off. And they're going to have another really good week and then they're going to fall off and maybe fall off for 2 more weeks. And then they're going to be mad that they didn't take advantage of this special offer when they had the chance. Because like I said, this discount will not be available a month from today. So if you guys have questions, you can type them in the chat, or you can email them to me at jennifer@jenniferdent.com. But if you're like, I'm ready to rock and roll with this right now, high five, sister, let's go. jenniferdent.com/success to take advantage of the $100 off and the week 5 bonus. All right, I see some more people have joined. Hello, hello, hello. If you missed the beginning of this, no worries. I'm going to send out a replay link so you can listen to the beginning and you can follow the 5 steps that I outlined earlier in the webinar. I see no questions in the chat. So that means I was super clear and everybody is at jenniferdent.com/success and they are signing up right now. Okay. So I'm going to take a swig of some water. I'm going to wait a couple more seconds to see if any questions come through. All right. All right, ladies. If you have any further questions, Jennifer@jenniferdent.com. Just shoot me an email. And thank you so much for joining. Have a fabulous evening. Bye-bye.